Welcome back, folks, to another edition of #AskGSM, where you send in questions via Facebook and Twitter, and I answer them right here in this video forum. I found time in my schedule on Monday mornings to be able to film these videos, so they will not be completely extinct from YouTube going forward. But then again, if you'd like to send in a question, make sure to tweet me on Twitter with the hashtag #AskGSM at WrestleRant, or like my official Facebook page at GrahamGSMMatthews, and leave a comment on the wall. So without further ado, let's get started with the Facebook questions first. The first one comes from Zach D. He asks, do you think there will ever be a brand split again? I would like to think so. I don't think it's possible, honestly. I think maybe at some point, never say never, but as of right now, probably not. I mean, we just got rid of the brand split, the initial brand split, not too long ago. So I would say no as of right now, but hopefully at one point down the line, because I personally love the brand splits. The next question comes from Jared J. He asks, what are your thoughts on Mick Foley's video detailing his thoughts on CM Punk's walkout? I really enjoyed it. I just watched it after the Super Bowl yesterday. I thought it was a great video. Mick Foley has a lot of cool insight, especially considering the fact that he knows CM Punk personally, so I thought that was pretty cool. But even still, though, I thought it was a great video. Mick Foley has one of my favorite Facebook pages to follow. He said that he was going to write a post on it instead of posting a video instead. So I thought it was very cool. Hopefully he does do more videos going forward with his thoughts on superstars, situations, and other stuff going forward. Because he's technically the first WWE employee, not really sure if he's still employed by WWE because I know his contract was expiring, to comment on the matter aside from a few others, but directly talk about it without being too cryptic and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. Hopefully he does more. If Punk were to take indie bookings, who would you pit him against? I would say AJ Styles, if he count Ring of Honor as an indie competition, as an indie company. I'm not really sure. I don't watch much ROH, but I know AJ Styles is there right now. Punk used to work there, so that would be pretty cool. Punk and Styles has been a dream match of mine for the longest time. Or him versus Cassius Ohno, a.k.a. Chris Hero. I thought that would be pretty cool. I don't watch much indies again, so I can't really tell you. But AJ Styles would definitely be my first pick since he's not currently under contract to TNA. Andre G asks, do you think main eventers should go after mid-card titles when they finish a run at top? No, actually. I think that would kind of get rid of mid-carders altogether. I can't really see John Cena going for an IC or US Championship. Then again, the mid-card at the moment is kind of dead, so maybe that's kind of what we need. And Randy Orton at one point last year was kind of in the mid-card when he was kind of facing the IC and US Champions on a weekly basis. But then again, he never actually went for the championship, and had he gone for the title, it's unlikely that he would have won it. So I'm not really sure about that, but I'm going to have to go with no on that question. Now on time for the Twitter questions. The first two questions from here were from a few weeks ago, so when I forgot to answer them in my last video that I did, but nonetheless, at So Stratifying asked, thoughts on how WWE is working with the Shield splitting, any ideas on their future feud? Now, she sent this in before the Royal Rumble, which they, of course, teased it. They didn't tease it on Raw or SmackDown last week, but even still, I like how they're slowly building towards it. They're not hot-shotting it like they did with the Primetime Players. That came out of completely nowhere. But even still, I like how they're slowly building towards it. I don't want to see the Shield split up, but we know it's only inevitable. Roman Reigns is getting crazy over right now, so I don't really mind it. Any ideas for their future feud? Either we have a triple threat between them at WrestleMania. I don't want to see Seth Rollins left out, so hopefully we see a triple threat rather than just Ambrose versus Reigns. Or we get that Extreme Rules. I wanted to see the Wyatt family versus the Shield at WrestleMania as opposed to Elimination Chamber, but I'm happy we're just getting it at all. So maybe we just see that match at WrestleMania, because if we're not getting that match, then I don't know what we're getting at WrestleMania with the Shield, since they're facing the Wyatt family at Elimination Chamber instead. And I see Roman Reigns coming out of that victorious. Whether the U.S. title's on the line remains to be seen, but I still think it could be a great feud. At Davis Hardy asked, should there be a Divas Tag Team Championship, yes and no? Yes or no, and why? I'm going to have to go with no on that one, more so because TNA tried it out a couple of years ago and it failed. I mean, it was a good idea in theory at first because they had a strong knockouts division. They give their women more time for their matches and stuff. So it was a good idea in theory, but it bombed within a year. They stopped defending it. They gave it to ODP and Eric Young, of all people. And then they were just completely forgotten about until they were done away with earlier this year, or in 2013, I should say. So thankfully that was those are gone officially. But even still, though, probably not, because the Divas only get 1-2 minutes of in-ring time, with the exception of that 5-minute match last week. But aside from that, it's usually the matches don't go long, so there's really no point, especially considering we don't have many tag teams in the Divas division. So probably no. And even if we did, it'd be the Bella Twins versus the Funkadactyls or AJ and Tamina every single week. So I'm gonna have to go with no on that. And now that Seattle has won the Super Bowl, do you think WWE should have should have Bryan win the title in Seattle at Extreme Rules, and that was asked by at Jeremy8911. Absolutely. I was actually just thinking about that this morning. That remember a couple years ago when the Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl back in 2011, Mr. Anderson was the TNA heavyweight champion. Obviously, that wasn't done by design, but I thought that was pretty cool at the time. But definitely, I think that'd be pretty cool if they could have Bryan become a champion just after the Seattle Seahawks last night in that disappointing Super Bowl that they absolutely crushed the Broncos. That we could see the Daniel Bryan emerge victorious. And he's not from Seattle, but obviously he's from that area. They were in Seattle for Raw, the Slammy Wars. They were going crazy for Bryan. So just imagine him winning the championship at Extreme Rules. So absolutely, if he doesn't win an Elimination Chamber, then yes, Extreme Rules in Seattle of his home state of Washington would be perfect. At Cody Collier 12 asked, what do you think about the situation WWE's in between Batista, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan? As far as WrestleMania plans, do you mean? I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't see CM Punk coming back, and there were a lot of CM Punk questions, which I'll get to in a few moments. I don't see CM Punk coming back before WrestleMania, and if he does, they'll just try to incorporate it into our work. And first thing first, I don't think CM Punk leaving the WWE is a work. I think it's completely legitimate. I was kind of on the fence at first, but with all the reports coming out and everything being talked about and whatever, it's slowly looking more like it was legitimate, especially since WWE has been taking him off all advertising and stuff like that. So I still think they're going to go with Batista or in WrestleMania. Unfortunately, Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure how he would fit into the equation. I would like to see Batista, Orton, and Bryan in Triple Threat at Mania. I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, maybe we'll just get Bryan versus Triple H. Could be a nice consolation prize, but Batista versus Orton, they have to do something about that. They can't do that at Mania. People are just going to go just poop all over that matchup while it's happening. And hopefully when CM Punk comes back, if he's not going to feud with Triple H, hopefully it's Batista. Because I know he doesn't have a problem with Batista. They're good friends in real life. That's not the reason why he left. So hopefully when CM Punk comes back, they can feud with each other. Because I know they had one pay-per-view match back in 2008, but that was kind of a throwaway match. So hopefully we see them feud with each other when CM Punk comes back, whenever it is, and Batista is hopefully a heel by that point in time. At Jacob Bloom asked, all-time top 5 dream matches using superstars living or dead. I can go on for days about this, but the 5 that I wrote down, the first 5 that came into my head: Punk Savage, Punk Angle, Undertaker versus Sting, Shawn Michaels versus The Rock, which I don't think we ever got, and Hulk Hogan versus Cena in their prime, of course. I don't want to see Hogan versus Cena at WrestleMania 30. That'd be garbage. Hulk Hogan can't even walk, let alone wrestle in the ring. So I don't want to see that happen. But even so, those are the 5 that came to my mind. And I know we're going to be talking about this. He's going to be on my show in a few weeks, so we're going to be talking about that a little more in a few weeks. But those are my top 5 for right now. At JJF Tweets asked, with Styles gone, who would you build Impact Wrestling around as the new face? Very good question. With Sting gone, Styles is gone, Jeff Jarrett's gone, Hogan's gone, everyone's gone. But who would I build as the face of Impact Wrestling? I wouldn't say Jeff Hardy. He's kind of getting up there in age. I know he sells crazy merchandise, but no. I would have said Magnus, but he's since turned heel, so no. Maybe Samoa Joe, but I mean, he's been there for 10 years already. Kurt Angle's kind of winding down as well, so probably not Angle. He could be gone as soon as the summer once his TNA deal expires. So maybe Samoa Joe. I mean, I really can't think of anyone else who's really on the rise right now in TNA, like coming in the up-and-coming ranks. Maybe Austin Aries, but they're not. They're just wasting him right now in the X division, which is ridiculous. So I would say Austin Aries, who I would build it around, but it looks like Samoa Joe. He's not in the greatest shape, but at least he's being put in a decent feud with Magnus over the World Championship. At Jared F. Barons, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, asked thoughts on NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, star Prince Devitt potentially joining WWE's main roster, and he told me to look up any of his matches if need be. I hadn't heard of him. I know I've heard of him before. I don't really, like I said before, I don't watch the indies, so I wouldn't know. I've never seen him before. I've never seen him wrestle before. So, internet, don't blame me at all, please. I don't really go out of my way to look for that stuff, but I did this time. He's a great worker. I saw his Facebook post. It was either him or Kenta. I think it was Kenta who said he was in WWE recently to try out some stuff. Maybe Prince Devitt was there too. I'm not really sure. But I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great if he joined the WWE roster. Would they underutilize him? More than likely, but it would still be pretty cool to see him there. It'd definitely bring something new to the table. Rather than, the just generic big guys and stuff. So, yeah, I would love to see him in WWE at some point. Hopefully he does get signed by WWE at some point down the road. At No ODBS Allowed asked, don't you think Daniel Bryan should be the one quitting and not CM Punk because he has had more chances than you think? Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are obviously two very different people. Punk is only quitting. Well, not only quitting. There's a number of factors that have gone into it, but Punk is beat up. I'm pretty sure he's been wrestling longer than Daniel Bryan. I could be wrong about that, but he's been in WWE longer than Daniel Bryan. He's been through all the politics, all that BS. He's extremely banged up, which is Daniel Bryan is not. That's one of the leading factors why CM Punk is leaving the company. He's banged up. He needs a vacation. That 2-month vacation last year was not enough, and he just needs time off. So hopefully he does come back at some point in the foreseeable future. And I don't think Daniel Bryan should be the one quitting over CM Punk, if only because CM Punk is fed up with all the BS that they're giving him. Daniel Bryan, sure, he's not being pushed either right now, or at least as much or as heavily as we want him to be. But I don't blame CM Punk at all for leaving. He's kind of at fault for leaving before his contract expired. I understand that, so I'm not completely saying it's all WWE's fault or all his fault. But no, I think CM Punk should be the one quitting since Daniel Bryan isn't as beat up as we think as CM Punk. At 2000 Awesome asked via Twitter, what do you think about the Yes Movement storyline going on with Daniel Bryan right now? I think it's great. Someone told me that it was brought up by the Bella twins. Maybe they started it since, Brie Bella is dating Daniel Bryan. They are engaged, all that stuff. So I think it's great to kind of build around it. Hopefully WWE just doesn't shove it down our throats, make T-shirts about it, and just kill the whole thing, kill the cool factor about it. So hopefully that isn't the case with the Yes Movement. But even still, I love it. It came around after the Royal Rumble when he should have been in the Rumble match itself. So I like it. Hopefully it gets him to a big storyline going into WrestleMania, either with Triple H or a triple threat for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And the final question also comes from 2000 Awesome. He asked, do you see CM Punk in another wrestling promotion once his WWE contract expires in July? No. I mean, once his contract expires, I know he quits, but I think he's still probably going to be under contract for the next 6 months, which sucks for him if he's going to be around for that time and just not doing anything and not going to be in the company. That would suck. But no, I don't see him going for TNA. A lot of people are asking that. I know I was making jokes about that last week, but no, I don't see him going to TNA. I know he hates TNA. It'd be a hell of a shocker if that happened. Don't see it happening. ROH, I know that was his stomping grounds, but once he's done with wrestling, he's done. He needs to take a break, and maybe he can do the indies. Maybe those are easier on his body. I'm not really sure. He just doesn't like to travel, and he's extremely beat up right now. So once his contract expires, or even now, he's just hanging home. I don't see him doing much. Wrestling-wise. I don't see him putting his body through any more than it needs to be right now. So that's going to do it for all the questions this week, folks. Once again, if you want to send in a question, make sure to tweet me on Twitter with the hashtag AskGSM on WrestleRant, or at WrestleRant, sorry. Or find me on Facebook at Graham GSM Matthews. Like the page and drop a comment with your questions for next week's video right here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe as well. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and until next time.